Hey there, this is Will from unTied Games, and I'm here today with a new devlog video. I know it's been a while, but I'm here today after VGM Con to give you a progress report on Atmocopter and all the other stuff I've been working on. So VGM Con is short for Video Game Music Convention, but they've got a really cool indie dev space where you can just bring your game and show it off, and there was a lot of traffic. I got a lot of amazing feedback, and it's always good to see real players that aren't the developer play the game and see where they get stuck and what needs more polish, what needs to be explained better, the whole 9 yards. So I had a great experience there. The convention ran for 3 days, and I didn't have a huge amount of time to work on the game since the last devlog back in, when was that, September 2025? And here we are today in April 2026. So, it's been a while, but I did manage to get some stuff done on the game. The reason I haven't had time is I've been working on cool projects like the Super Pixel Effects Gigapack, which is a collection of tons and tons and tons of high-quality pixel art effects. So I've been drawing all these different effects, different genres, fantasy, sci-fi. I've been doing impacts, explosions, just tons and tons of variety there. And it's only $5. So if you need effects for your game, check that out. There'll be a link up here maybe. Or maybe it'll be down there in the description. You tell me. So yeah, I've been working on that really hard. And the other thing I've been working on is SparkBolt Studio. Now, I know I've talked about that in previous devlogs, in previous reveal videos, maybe a few years back. But that's been a long haul project, and it's coming together finally. So the idea behind SparkBolt Studio is it's an all-in-one pixel art sprite, pixel art tileset, and pixel art level editor. So that's really cool. It's like the tool I've always wanted to use. So I'm just going to talk today about I'm going to introduce SparkBolt Studio all over again and show kind of what I want to use it for, how I'm using it today, because yes, I was finally able to use it for Atmocopter. That's a really big milestone. I've been working on this thing for a long time, and just being able to finally use it for a project that I'm really passionate about is huge. That's a big milestone. So we're going to talk about that, then I'm going to show off what's new in Atmocopter, and let's dive right in. Okay, so here we are. This is Tiled. This is a free program that I had been using to make Atmocopter levels. And as you can see here, I'm just going to put it on the right monitor for me. There we go. As you can see here, this is an Atmocopter level. The player starts right here. They jump over a couple platforms, learn how to hover to get on top of this one. These green tiles here are room transitions. That's how I mark them. And you can see there's like a down transition here because the player goes down there in this next room. And that's tiled. So I've got all my objects on one layer. Let's see that. I can toggle it just like that. I've got my rooms marked on another layer. I've got certain rooms that need to be marked, like this double size room where you come in and then there's no transition at this dotted blue line. There's one over here though. So this room, you come in and it just horizontally scrolls as you come in, right? So that's how I mark those rooms. And I've got the transitions, we talked about those. Terrain, that's a pretty obvious one. And then some background elements. So this is what I had been using. And, it's sufficient to edit levels, and you pick tiles from your tile sets down here. And I don't know why there's 2 enemy tile sets. That's kind of weird. Anyway, you pick tiles down here and you place them in the layer, right? And this was sufficient, but it's not my tool, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a learning curve for me. Some things are kind of clunky, not the way I would have done it if I was developing it. So, I've been designing this replacement for a long time, and it's not just a replacement for tiled, it's a replacement for, my very, very old level editor, which was not even tile-based, and we're not going to talk about that. So let's jump in to SparkBolt Studio. So this is the same level in SparkBolt Studio. And you can see it's got the same layout, same objects, same everything. The player starts here, jumps over these, blah, blah, blah. There's the down transition. You know, it's exact same level. Like I said, this represents a big milestone for me. I was able to actually design an importer that brought these levels that were already made in tiled in from the tiled file format, and they import as all of these objects. They import as these tile sets, like here's the level tile set that we were looking at in that level. And it's hopefully does so seamlessly, but basically it's a huge milestone. I'm able to finally kind of ditch tiled and use my own level editor, and that means I can import this into Atmocopter natively because this editor is using my game engine. And eventually this editor is going to be for sale so everyone can buy it and use it, but you know, for everyone else, it's going to have export abilities to like JSON and maybe XML. I'm not sure yet, probably to tiled. We'll see. But, you know, for me, I get to use it natively because I'm using my own engine. So I'm special. So I can edit the properties of objects right here. Let's see what other object has properties. This guy has properties. So yeah, I set the path speed here, and I can change the data type, and it's just really nice. You know, I've got copy paste working. It's wonderful. So this is a project that contains all of the Atmocopter levels so far, right? As you can see, I can view them all. I can copy paste between them, which is kind of cool. It's really awesome. And like I said, this can do pixel art also. So right now, I have all of these objects linked to external textures, so the changes I make are not going to be saved. But if this wasn't linked to an external texture, I could just draw in here and, you know, change the sprite. So this is going to be a really cool tool once it's all done. You're going to be able to make your own sprites, your own animations, your own objects with their own properties, your own tile sets, and then you're going to be able to put it all together in levels. And that has been the goal for the past several years for me. So this is a big deal for me. But without further ado, let's jump right into Atmocopter and see what's new as of this convention. So I had about a month to work on Atmocopter, and let's dive right in. Okay, so here we are in Atmocopter. If you're not familiar with Atmocopter, how did you get here? So this is Atmocopter. Atmocopter is a platformer game that is kind of a hybrid of action and puzzle. And it's very inspired by Mega Man. So let's dive right in. There's no changes to the title screen. It's still nice and juicy, just like last time you saw it in the last devlog. It starts out with the tutorial, of course. So I'm just going to show you a couple new features on level 1 here, and then we will dive into the new stuff. So what's new right away is sound effects. Hear that? I'm going to be quiet just so you can hear it, okay? Hear that? So Atmocopter has jump and hover sound effects now. Now, Atmocopter doesn't really jump. I know he's a helicopter robot. He lifts off, right? But I'm going to call it a jump just for my own sanity, okay? So let's listen to those again. So here's jump. And here's hover. So those, I think, feel really good. They feel really helicopter-y, kind of like wind whooshing, and then the hover feels like a chop, chop, chop of the helicopter blades, right? So I make those using a tool called Chiptone, which is free online to use. I will put a link somewhere in the video here or down in the description or both. And it just runs right in your web browser. You get a waveform and you get to mess with it and apply effects to it. And I use that for all of my sound effects, and it's really good at making those retro sound effects. The other thing that's new is, check this out. Atmocopter has liftoff and landing dust now. And just adding that little bit of extra juice makes the game feel so much more alive. So I'm really happy with the way that turned out, and let's dive into some other stuff. I'm going to cheat so I can free move here and just kind of go wherever we want. We don't have to go through the tutorial. We're just going to head over to where all of the changes are. So I'm going to go this way and straight through here. Oop, you can go out of bounds too, that's fine. So one of the new changes, level 1 only got like a couple new changes. One of the new changes, I'm just going to blast this bad guy over here. One of the new changes is that platform in the top left. I'm going to get up there. So this used to be a moving platform that just kind of moved up and down and up and down, right? And the idea is you ride on it, and then you would be able to get up here, right? So instead, it's now this little guy. And what you do is you get on it, and you grab it, and then it takes you up there. Right? So that's pretty cool. And then you'll see it goes right back down if you let go of it. And you can let go of it at any point, and it will pause for 3 seconds and then go back to where it started. So it's kind of just an engaging way to, a more engaging way to have the player move from one, from the down here elevation to the up there elevation. And like you just saw, you can get off at any time just by jumping. You don't have to actually physically press the let go button. You can just jump. So the idea behind this was sometimes you'd get up here and then... can you see my mouse? Yeah. Okay. So sometimes you'd get up here, right? And then the platform would be like moving up, right? The moving platform that used to be here would just be moving up. And you'd get here, and then you'd have to wait for it to finish moving up, and then come back down, and then you could jump on it, right? So this is way more engaging. It makes things flow better. So that's kind of the improvement to this level, is just a tiny little flow improvement. I'm going to skip ahead. I can easily cheat like that. Head to the next level. This level had similar changes. Oh, I can't not go through the clouds, right? They are so fun. You can also shoot to reveal what's underneath, so that's pretty cool. Players love that. It's kind of a mixed split, whether they're clouds or soap bubbles, but players love it. So as you can see, this level has not had any changes here, but that's fine. Just going to progress through it. There's a switch that I just put that crate on. I know because I'm the game developer. And in this room, there's bumpers. Players have a lot of fun in this room because look at what you can do. You can bounce around. It's a nice, safe way to learn that things can be hidden in the clouds. Okay, so this room had one change. Here we do have those moving platforms. These ones aren't too bad to wait for, so I left them in. But here I have one of these platforms. Oops. That guy got me. So this platform, I'm internally calling it a zip platform, because you grab it and then you zip from one place to another. It's not really, as fast as zip, but to me, it's a zip. So that used to be a very long one of those moving platforms, right? And man, it sucked to wait down at the bottom while it was going up and then wait for it to go back down. That was the long haul right there. So I'm just gonna skip this room. And we can skip this room. Nothing's changed here. So this room has another minor change. I'm just gonna drop right in. A little low on health, so I can grab that health that you can see there. There you go. So there used to be, I'm going to use the mouse again, a moving platform that went up and down right here. And again, it sucked to get down here and then have to wait for it. So I put a zip platform here. You can barely see it above that cloud line. And I'm thinking it might be a little too hidden, because the player can't reveal it necessarily by shooting right here, right? And the player can actually pass right underneath it, so you don't know unless you're actually like colliding with it or are lucky enough to be just shooting and jumping and revealing that. And some players get on it, but they don't know what it is, so they try to jump, but it's too high to jump and hover up. You have to grab it, you have to get up a little bit, and then you can go up. So I think I'm going to fix that by moving the zip platform up just like one tile, maybe. And, or maybe half a tile. You know, have it just slightly behind the clouds. I would put it like down further, so you do have to like actually reveal it, and so you can run into it. But the problem with that is what happens when the player rides it up, then goes underneath it, and then it comes down on top of them. Like, right now, it's not colliding, but if it did collide into Atmocopter that way, what's supposed to happen? Do I kill the player? Like, is there a crushing mechanic? Or do I, like, prevent it from moving down further? Does it stop when it hits Atmocopter when it's retracting? I don't know. So that's something I still have to consider, figure out what exactly I want to do. I will say, though, the previous version of Atmocopter, the one built in Java from many years ago, that one did actually have crushing mechanics. So the game actually did feature these giant crushers that could come down from the ceiling and you know, flatten Atmocopter into a pancake, and you would just explode. And that got extended to, like, okay, all terrain should be able to crush you if you are, you know, in a crushable scenario. But then there were false positives. So that is something I really, really, really want to avoid, because false positives with insta-kill are no bueno. We cannot have that in the game. So if I do something like that, it's got to be rock solid. And I do actually want to talk about the left side of this room too while we're here. So this left side of the room, I like to call this the cruelest spot in Atmocopter right now. Because here's the thing. Over on the right side of the room, I was rewarded for exploring, right? There was a health pickup down here. I was rewarded for that. So then we go over to the left side of the room. I'm thinking, oh, maybe there's something down here I should explore. Oh, nope, it's gonna zap me. There's electricity down here that's just zapping me, right? So that whole cloud region right here is filled with hazards. So on the one side, I reward the player for exploring, and on the other side, I just absolutely punish them for it. So it's not great, but what I'm planning on is, since there's hazards down there, and they're like purple electricity hazards, right? I'm planning on having that purple kind of peek out from behind the clouds, like give it a little purple glow, like right where that electricity is. Subtle, but easily noticeable to the player. And then they're going to know, like, okay, down there is danger. And if they don't know, they'll find out really quickly. But they should be able to figure out pretty quickly. There's no changes to this room. I'm just going to skip it. Same with this room. Although I will say, this is an enemy spawner, right? And I had a couple instances of feedback at the convention that they expected enemy spawners to not do contact damage. See that? I was dealt contact damage just by touching it. See that? Oh, I'm dead. That's okay, we can easily skip back to where we were. But it's like, I don't know, they're supposed to do contact damage, you know? It's really intended, they're supposed to block your path. Let's see if we can get back to where we were quick. Oh, we were underneath where we were. So yeah, I do still want those to deal contact damage. I do want them to block the player's movement forward. And, I don't know, maybe... They're really colorful. They kind of look like an enemy. You'd think that players would understand that they deal contact damage. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a case of the players... you know... Surely it's the players who are wrong. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, no changes here. This room is the same as last time. This room is the same as last time. This room got some changes. So you drop in here. You're rewarded for exploring a little bit, as we discussed. And I've got a little zip platform puzzle. You just grab these till you're high enough, and you can jump over. You can't jump over without grabbing, so you gotta use the zip platform at least a little. So that's new. What else do we got here? Nothing new here. The last room of this level got a major change. So this room is entirely different than it was last time. Last time it was a big vertical room divided up the middle, and you could choose the left or the right side to go up. And it's kind of cramped. So now I've got a zip platform here that brings you up to the first challenge. And it's kind of divided into these little challenge rooms, right? And in here, there's a bunch of clouds. So it's like, okay, well, let's reveal what's underneath. Okay, that looks like a platform. So I can jump on that. And we got another platform here. Jump on that. And then we're good to go, right? So players got a little stuck here sometimes in that, like, maybe the shooting doesn't reveal enough of what's behind the clouds. So I'm going to test a change where whatever you shoot, that whole object gets revealed for a second, and then see how that plays, both visually and gameplay-wise. Because, like, I'm okay with seeing just that much of the object, but I know what the objects are, so I don't know. I gotta test it a little more. Okay, so we ride up to the second challenge. And I can see that moving platform. That's cool. I like how I'm hinting at the propeller under there. So you can see, oh, this is a moving platform. And the player's instinct is to jump up, ride it. Oh, but there's a bumper. So it just bumped me right back off. And you know, this kind of puzzle should maybe be the first one, because the bumper bumping me is really safe. It doesn't bump me into the electricity. Whereas if you miss the platforms down in the other challenge, you fall right into the electricity and get damaged quite a bit. You can get back out, though, if you've got enough HP to take a hit or two. Enemy up here, and a zip platform that'll take me up. Or over here, we've got another zip platform that just gets me some collectibles hidden in the clouds. I'm going to ride the zip platform up, and here we are at the final room. Grab a couple collectibles, and if you fall back down, you can easily get back up using the zip platform, so there's no problem there. So in this puzzle, what you're supposed to do is, there's a button here, right? And that opens the door. Jump off the button, it closes. So you need something to hold it down. The hover platforms, which you can place anywhere and they keep hovering, cannot hold the button down. They can if you're holding it, right? But if you let go of it, they can't hold it down. I'll probably change how that works just a little bit. But the idea is that we want this crate, right? But if we try and get it, it drops into the grinder. So you put the hover platform right there and wait for another crate. I know this takes a while. I'm going to rework the timing on that. And you're supposed to get the crate like this and plop it right on the button, and then you can go through, right? Or at least that's how it's supposed to work. So let me show you now all the ways this can go wrong. Okay, so problem number one. What if they take the hover platform and bring it down? Okay, not great, because now I can't get it back up. So you have to do this kind of janky maneuver. You get the platform above you, grab the zip platform, push it up, and then hope that the collision gods do not force you back down after you let go. So it's recoverable, but it's not obvious. So what I'm thinking is, let me just get this out of the way. What I'm thinking is that right around here, there should be a one-way platform. So you grab this, you go up, you go through the one-way platform, which is going to be right here, and then Atmocopter and other objects are not going to be able to get back down. Okay? Except the zip platform, of course. So that's one way this could go wrong, but it's recoverable, right? I had some other players, you know, and do stuff like this. They would collide against this, and it makes a lot of noise. I'm not sure why it doesn't push you away more forcefully, but it does eventually. So sometimes players get the hover platform stuck on that side, and then it's like, oh, it's kind of tricky to jump over. Like, I'm good at the game, but, you know, some people aren't, and they get too close to the grinder, and, oh, they get hit. And normally, that would be an insta-kill, but I had an armored heart for my first heart there, so it only brought me down and removed that armor. So that's the other way it could go wrong. So yeah, then you get the crate, and that's great. Grab it, and, you know, I guess I haven't thought of, like, what if you bring the crate down? But it's like, I don't know, if you just kill the crate, then it'll give you another one. So it's fine. As you can see, it's back up there already. I'll just grab that crate, flop it on the button, head through the door, and there is our win condition. And as you can see, another level awaits. So I had time in the month or so that I worked on it that I wasn't working on SparkBolt Studio. You know, I'd finally completed that, and I was able to actually start on Atmocopter for a bit. I had time for a whole new level, so let's jump into that. So this level starts with a message. Did you know Atmocopter can turn grabbed objects? Move the right stick, left or right, turn a grabbed object. Okay. So most players faced with this room, they jump up here and try and grab this thing. So maybe that's not explained perfectly, but ideally I think I'll want the spawner to spawn something like immediately before the player like even sees the screen. So anyway, let's check this new object out. This is a fan, and you've seen fans in previous versions of Atmocopter if you've watched my other devlog videos. These fans work a little different. They're a little more polished. So you'll see they affect Atmocopter if you run into them. So you'll want to jump on them. And let's test that turning out. So I can turn, I'm going to flick the right stick right, and I can turn it down, and then I can turn it left, and I can turn it right again. So basically I've got clockwise turning, right, and counterclockwise turning. And players found that, this is the first time I'm really testing the turning with players. Before you could turn objects, but it didn't matter because there was nothing really you wanted to turn. There was just crates, right? And they're kind of the same either way you turn them. A couple players reported that turning clockwise or counterclockwise using the stick was not super intuitive. Like they wanted to just point the stick down to point the object down, point the stick left to point the object left. And it's like, I get it, but I also want this to be playable with keyboard, and turn counterclockwise, clockwise is pretty much the only way keyboard can do it. Because there's no stick on the keyboard, so how's that going to work? So yeah, there was a little confusion on that, but I think I can smooth that over by teaching the player a little better how to turn the grabbed objects. And the other thing is players don't read. So some players totally missed that message. So the object that we're interacting with here is a fan switch. Once that's turning, it opens the door. And if I remove the fan, it closes. And it's got a little flashing green light to indicate that it's activated. So let's continue. Here's a totally new enemy, right here on the ground. This is Blaster. It hides in the ground underneath the dome, fires 3 shots, and then retracts back into the dome. And you'll see, again, you can duck under the shots, right? But you'll see it's invincible while it's in the dome. So that's kind of the cool enemy. Get rid of him. And this room is the first room where you have to turn a grabbed object. So you get the fan, it's not facing the right way to activate that fan switch. And you can't jump up here, right? No matter how hard you try. Admittedly, it looks jumpable, so I gotta work on that. I'll probably even remove the enemy from the room, just so players can figure out turning. So what you're supposed to do here is figure this out. Turning a fan downwards makes it so you hover. You hover just how high the fan can go, right? Like the length of that wind is how much you hover. And then once you're up here, you can actually do Atmocopter's normal jump hover and get up here, right? Let's see that again. Jump right up there. So players had a bit of a hard time with this, actually. Some players figured out you could turn the object and kind of ride the fan wind upwards, right? And then they'd press the jump button, just like this. See how I'm tapping it real quick, and it's not giving me that immediate feedback, like, oh, I pressed jump, but I'm not going up. I must be wrong, right? So even with the hover sound effect they're playing, people didn't hold the button to get that hover. So I gotta figure that out. Maybe it needs to be more immediate when you're holding a fan. Maybe it needs to give you just a bit of a normal jump first. But it needs more immediate feedback, I think. So the solution here, obviously, is we do this and turn it so it's facing the right way. So before I said I could face the fan right, down, or left. Some players were wondering why you can't face it up. And to me, the answer is obvious. So if the fan were facing up and Atmocopter's holding it, what's supposed to happen? Like, because the wind is going to hit Atmocopter, but Atmocopter's propeller is pushing down. So how does that work from a physical standpoint, right? And like a logic standpoint? But also there's a gameplay reason. So if I were able to place the fan so it's facing upwards, right? And I let go of it, and I move Atmocopter off, how is Atmocopter supposed to pick it back up? Because you have to be above something to pick it up, right? But if there's wind pushing you, Atmocopter would be like riding that wind up, right? He'd be like up here. So you wouldn't be able to pick up the fan if you could place it facing up. So that's why that's the way that is. And in the future, I can actually set any angle to be valid or invalid for any object. So I could design some crazy objects that can only be turned certain ways. So this room has one of our enemy spawners. Just going to blast that to oblivion. And we have a classic puzzle where you put something on the switch to open the door. I'm aware that the spawner is placed a little high. I'm going to revise that. And then as a bonus, you could use what you learned and grab the collectibles up here. So one of the things is players would have to like let go of this in order to get these bottom two. I'll fix that probably, we'll see. Oh, and you'll notice if you let go of the fan, it will go straight to the floor. So it only has that hover effect if you are holding it. Otherwise, they'd be hovering all over the place. So here we got a classic enemies hidden behind clouds room. Fly ball up there, and down here we have a blast turret. Oh, and you can jump over that guy too if you so prefer. This room is a little challenging. So we've got zip platforms that you ride horizontally, but I throw enemies into the mix. And enemies, if they hit you, they will break your grab on that zip platform. So it can be a little tricky, especially if you're not super familiar with the game. So you'll want to take those enemies out first and be sure to grab the zip platform before it starts retracting. And like other moving platforms, it will take Atmocopter along with it, even though he's hovering, and I explain that away with magnets. So we're just gonna keep going. This room didn't turn out how I planned, and I'll show you why. So some players, they get... You know what, let's pretend we walked in this room one more time, okay? Let's walk in the room. Let's say we take an extra second here, just to, like, scope it out. So one of the things is that blast turret up there is now firing left into the wall. That's not intended. Blast turrets just kind of fire based on whether the player is to the left or the right of them. But what I think I'm going to do is have them fire only if Atmocopter is close to their vertical plane, right? Only if Atmocopter is like kind of within range, basically. So that's one thing. The other thing is I made this zip platform really slow because I was like, oh, I want the player to maybe have some time with that blast turret. But it's too slow. I don't like it. So I'm gonna change that back to normal speed because look at how long this is. I could read an entire novel while this goes up. This enemy was just kind of a throwaway placement enemy here. Its missiles can't even hit you, they hit the ceiling. So that's just kind of a placeholder. So yeah, let's continue. This is one of the coolest rooms in the game so far, okay? So first of all, we've got an enemy spawner and a bunch of clouds. And the player can reveal what's in the clouds as they, as I've taught them how to do in other levels. But there's also a fan here. So sometimes players will come in, maybe they'll find some of these collectibles up here, blast some enemies, run into something down here. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's a platform, but it's not one of the zip platforms, it's a hover platform. So then they come this way, and they finally figure out, like, oh, what if I grab the fan? And look at that. This is the fan interaction with clouds. It permanently removes the clouds, so they will completely despawn and reveal what's underneath. This is super cool. And then you turn it, and you reveal a fan switch back there. And that's how you open the door. And you can actually turn the fan up just a little bit to kind of sweep away the clouds. Even though it doesn't stay up, it will, kind of sweep them away. So that's, in my opinion, the coolest room in the game so far. Where I teach the player how to vanquish the clouds. This room has a bunch of enemies in it behind the clouds, and it has an enemy up here, which is an enemy spawner, but if I get rid of it, it will reveal a path. So I can head back there to a kind of optional path. And once again, I'd like this electricity to kind of blink behind the clouds, provide some kind of glow. So the player's first instinct might be to jump down, but if they're exploring a bit, they'll notice a zip platform here and get some nuts up there, and some HP pickups and more collectible nuts down here. And that's the alternate path. So if I had simply gone down, I would have gotten to this room. Either way. So here we have two Cyclopters. I named them that because they're Cyclops and helicopters. So they can hit me from over here, and I'm just going to take them out. And before I take out that second one, I'm going to showcase a bug, okay? Or it's not really a bug, it's more like an unintended interaction. So the idea here, I'm just going to turn off collision so I can talk, is you want to take out that other Cyclopter, get another platform, and then hop, 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 you're out of the room, right? And normally that's how it would work, but if you are over here, I'm just gonna let the lightning happen again here. If you're over here and you let the lightning happen, it will push that platform out of the way, and that's not great. The other thing that kind of goes wrong here is players will grab the hover platform. And look what happens, you just die because you fall. And I don't know. I feel like that's one of those things that players just need to learn and figure out. Because, that's just how that interaction is going to happen. So I'm just going to skip back to where we were. Oh, we're down here. Okay, here we are. So this is how this room is supposed to go. Blast this guy. Dodge the attacks. Oh, that's gonna do the thing again, but you'll see I made it to the second platform. And then we can move on. We have a couple blast turrets here, and if you are careful, you can actually just skip them, which is kind of cool. It's fine to skip enemies, it's fine to blast every enemy you see, and it's really up to the player. But sometimes I make it hard. So this is Hopbot. Hopbot hops, opens his face, and shoots 3 times. And you can shoot him, but you can't shoot him while his faceplate is down. It's a shield. And I made it hard to jump over him here. I can actually do it because I'm really good. But a lot of players can't jump over him while he's on the stairs. But this is a really cool enemy, and I'm just going to show him off one more time by reloading the room. So one of the cool things, I'm just going to speed this up too so he gets on the floor. Maybe I will wait till he jumps one more time. Come on. Okay. Fast forward is so nice. So one of the cool things is while his shield is down, you can hit him from the back because the shield is on the front, right? So that's really cool. I'm really happy with the way that enemy turned out. I might speed him up just a little bit. We'll see. That guy. And here is a little puzzle. We got a locked door. Spawner, which I'm going to get rid of. Mash that fire button. Some players want a charge shot, kind of like Mega Man, and I'm seriously considering that. So the idea here is just kind of use what you learned here, remind the player that they can do that, and you open the door. Then we have a little bit of platforming, some more Cyclopters in combat, another hotbot. I probably could have jumped over him if I tried a little bit harder. But there we go. It's really fun to blast enemies in this game. Okay, so this room. This is a vertical room with a bunch of clouds. And I'm just going to wait here. Watch that fan, okay? So the spawner made me a fan. Just hold on. See? Look at it flicker. And it's gone. There you go. So this is the only fan in the game that can despawn, and I'm going to show you why. The idea here is you grab it, right? There's a little lag here because I have to optimize collision with the clouds. The idea is you go up, right? And you ride the fan up. And again, that purple glow behind the clouds is going to help a lot to reveal these elect traps here. So the idea is you ride the fan up, and players had a lot of trouble with this jump here. So what you're supposed to do is kind of go like that, right? And you'll see I do my hover while I'm still above that electricity. If I do it while I'm over here, I don't get enough height, because the player starts dropping as soon as that fan wind is no longer colliding. So I'm going to revise that a little bit. But anyway, the idea is you go up here, and like, if your fan does get damaged along the way, it will explode, of course, as most things do when they get damaged. And you'll get a new one, right? So let me just head up again. Whoop, whoop. It's a little finicky. I might have to work on the fan hover effect. But anyway, let's say we make it up here. There's a couple of collectibles hidden. Locked door. You're supposed to put the fan on this to unlock the door, right? And that's great. What if the player puts it up here and then goes back down, right? So if that fan didn't despawn, this would be a soft lock, and we'd be totally stuck here. I suppose the player could kill themselves on one of these elect traps, but you'll see the fan just despawned and we were able to get a new one. We already did the puzzle, so I'm just going to go through the door. So this room is really cool. See how I telegraph the hotbot being there by how it jumps and you can see it up above the clouds? That's really cool. So I'm just kind of telegraphing to the player, hey, there's danger in these clouds. And you can blast that guy from behind pretty easily. And for the final enemy challenge of the game, we've got some deeper clouds here. And 2 hotbots. So this is way tougher. I'm gonna jump over. Hopefully kill that guy. Oh, took a hit there. And you can jump over this guy if he's on the floor. He starts out like up here, but he makes his way down there pretty quick. And for the final puzzle challenge of the level, I've got a big room full of clouds, and you can reveal stuff with the default attack. But you'll want this fan because that's way more fun, right? So the player will start clearing these clouds. Maybe they'll turn it. Oh, they reveal a fan switch. Okay, clear some more clouds. But you'll see the door isn't quite open yet, and there's 2 fans. So, okay, maybe we get our second fan. So I'll grab that and try and reveal some more stuff. Oh, what's that? There's a second fan switch. But there's no way to keep it spinning, because I have to set the fan down to keep it spinning. So you keep revealing. Oh, there's a hover platform. So now we get this cool puzzle where you just kind of set up a spot for the fan to rest, and you do a little platforming, get up there, and boom, both fan switches are spinning, the door is open, and that's the game so far. Thank you for playing Atmocopter at VGM Con 2026. Have fun at the convention, yeah! Okay, so we grabbed that, and we are done. That's all of Atmocopter so far, at least this version. You know, a future version is going to have way more levels, way more bosses. Bosses are going to come back. That's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's just kind of a run-through of the new stuff in the game. Lots of work has been done on the game engine. Lots of work has been done on SparkBolt Studio, as you saw. It's just thrilling to be able to finally work on Atmocopter using my own tool. That's just huge for me. Like, Tiled was good, but it's just so clunky sometimes, you know? And, you know, I use a sprite for pixel art, but I really want to use SparkBolt Studio for it. And then all my stuff, objects, enemies, collectibles, hazards, the player graphics, tile sets, and the levels are all going to be in one place, accessible in one program, and loadable natively by my engine. And I think once that is a publicly available product, people are going to find that useful, I hope. But if they don't, that doesn't matter, because it's still the exact kind of tool made in the exact way that I want to use. So whether it's a success or not, financially, it's going to be a success for me, spiritually. Let's just put it that way. So that's Atmocopter, and you know, I am really looking forward to the next time I show this game. I'm hoping to do another big sprint on it this summer, ahead of 2D Con. I haven't heard whether or not I have been accepted. I assume I will be, but you never know. So assuming that I'll be at 2D Con, I'm hoping to have more of a complete vertical slice of this game. So hub world, maybe, maybe more biomes, maybe more, you know, worlds with different levels, different mechanics. Yeah, I just want to see what a more complete version of this game would look like and have that available for players to test. So I got my work cut out for me because I'm doing this, you know, Super Pixel Effects Gigapack, which has been currently on hiatus for like a month while I worked on Atmocopter, but it's going to resume now, and I try to do weekly updates, which is a lot of pixel art. So I got to get back into that, and then it would make sense if I release SparkBolt Studio before Atmocopter, because it's a much more finished product than Atmocopter at the moment. You know, it can do the sprites, it can do the level editing, it can do the tile editing. So it would make sense if I work on that. But basically, I'm just going to kind of be juggling these 3 things. And I can actually show you that. Just a second. As long as we're here, and as long as you made it to the end of the video, I will show you how it feels to work on these 3 projects. So, here we've got Atmocopter, here we've got SparkBolt Studio, and here we've got Super Pixel Effects Gigapack, and all the other pixel art that I've been doing. Whoa! And you can see some of my ceiling up there. But it's okay, this is the end of the video. It's Woo, it's been a while. Yeah, so this is what it's going to be like to work on those 3 projects. As an indie developer, you often have to wear a lot of hats, and this is what that feels like sometimes. Whoa! And sometimes you drop them all. So that's the devlog for today. And I'm not going to promise a juggling act every time, but I have been Will from unTied Games. I'm just going to sit right back down. I've been Will from unTied Games, and this has been my 25th devlog. I really need to do these more often. They're fun to do. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for following along. Feel free to sign up for my newsletter. That's going to be somewhere in the description. That's the best way to follow along with Atmocopter and all the other stuff I do. And I've also got a blog at untiedgames.com. And I post everything I post to Patreon, I usually post to my blog. So you can follow either place. Oh yeah, if you support me on Patreon, it helps me make Atmocopter, believe it or not. But you'll also get a lot of cool pixel art, including Super Pixel Effects Gigapack, which has tons and tons and tons of effects. But if you don't have the ability to support, there's a free version of the Gigapack, so check that out too. And yeah, that's all for today. I will be in touch with more at some point, so I'll see you next time. This is Will from unTied Games, signing off.